Once upon a time, in a lush, green British woodland filled with wildflowers and buzzing insects, there lived a kind-looking badger named Billy. Billy was a friendly fellow with a big heart and an even bigger smile. He lived in a cozy burrow beneath the roots of a giant oak tree, the oldest and wisest tree in the whole forest. Unlike some of his friends who were hoarders, always keeping everything for themselves, Billy loved to look after his animal neighbors, and he especially loved to find the most beautiful treasures in the forest to give as gifts. One day, while strolling through the woods, Billy came across a sparkling clear stream. The sun was shining, making the water sparkle like 1,000 tiny diamonds, and there, nestled amongst the pebbles, were the prettiest, shiniest stones he had ever seen. Carefully, he picked one up. It was smooth and cool to the touch, a perfect shade of rose quartz pink. Billy tucked it into his pocket and hummed a happy tune. He knew just who to leave it for. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Billy continued his search. He found the perfect acorn still attached to its twig and carefully detached it before placing it in his pocket. Last but not least, he spotted a bush laden with bright red berries. With a contented sigh, Billy picked one, noting how plump and juicy it was. With his pockets full of treasures, Billy set off home, stopping on his way to visit his friends. First, he left a pebble on the path of a little field mouse who was gathering leaves for her nest. The mouse, who had been busy all morning, hadn't noticed Billy. She soon found the stone, though, and when she saw how pretty it was, she looked up to see Billy watching her from afar. She squeaked with delight. Next, Billy left the acorn by the entrance to a squirrel's nest. The squirrel, who was looking for something to eat, peeked out and chattered with joy when he saw what Billy had brought. Billy watched from a distance, a warm smile on his face. He watched as the mouse and the squirrel took their gifts back to their homes. And that's when Billy realized something. His own pantry was almost empty. He had given so much away that he had very little left for himself. For a moment, he felt a twinge of sadness. But then he saw the joy his gifts had brought his friends, and his spirits lifted. Days turned into weeks, and the seasons changed from summer to autumn and finally winter. One particularly cold day, with snow falling silently to the ground, Billy decided to visit his friends. As he made his way through the forest, he noticed that the little mouse's hole was well stocked with food. The squirrel's dray was full of acorns, and everyone he had seen that day seemed to have plenty to eat except for him. When he got back to his burrow, he sighed. His pantry was almost bare. He had no shiny pebbles, not even one, and only a few dried berries left. He felt a little scared, not just for himself, but for the baby badgers waiting to be born to his dear wife, Bess. Just then, he heard a knock on his door. Startled, Billy opened it to see the little mouse standing there holding a bright red berry. "A gift for you, Billy," she squeaked. At that moment, the squirrel came bounding up to the door with a handful of nuts. "Here you go, Billy," he chattered. And just like that, all the friends that Billy had helped throughout the year arrived with gifts of their own. Billy couldn't believe it. There were rabbits and foxes, moles and hedgehogs. All had brought something for him. When they had all gone, Billy looked around. His pantry was now full of wonderful things. That night, as he snuggled up to Bess, both of them full and very happy, Billy understood a wonderful truth. When you are kind and give to others, kindness always finds its way back to you. The greatest joy is found in giving to others. From that day on, Billy was no longer the badger with the empty pantry, but the happiest badger in the forest.